Marcus wiped the grease from his calloused hands, his fingers trembling as he stared at the crumpled hospital bill in his pocket. The numbers blurred through his exhausted eyes. $24,000 for his daughter's surgery, due in 3 weeks. And his bank account held exactly $872. He had already sold everything he could. His mother's wedding ring. His father's vintage tools. His own dreams had been pawned years ago, but none of it was enough. Nothing was ever enough for a man whose only wealth was the size of his heart and the grease under his fingernails. The sleek orange Lamborghini. Aventador rolled into Marcus's modest repair shop on a Tuesday afternoon, purring like a caged tiger desperate for attention. Behind the wheel sat Victoria Chen, CEO of Chen Industries, her designer sunglasses reflecting the afternoon sun like shields of superiority. She stepped out, her Louboutin, heels clicking against the oil-stained concrete with the rhythm of entitlement. "You the mechanic?" Her voice carried the sharp edge of someone unaccustomed to waiting for anything. Marcus nodded, setting down his coffee. "Yes, ma'am." "What seems to be the problem?" Victoria gestured dismissively at her $250,000 vehicle. "The engine's making some noise. My regular shop is booked for weeks, and I need this fixed by tomorrow. I have a charity gala to attend." She paused, her lips curling into an amused smirk as she surveyed his worn-down shop. The peeling paint. The ancient equipment held together by determination and duct tape, though I'm not sure this place is equipped for a car like mine. Marcus approached the Lamborghini, running his hand along its pristine frame with the reverence of someone who understood true craftsmanship. "May I?" She tossed him the keys without looking. "Just don't scratch it." For the next hour, Marcus worked in focused silence, his practiced hands navigating the complex engine with the precision of a surgeon. Victoria scrolled through her phone nearby, occasionally glancing up with impatient sighs. The other mechanics in the shop whispered among themselves, stealing glances at the expensive car and its even more expensive owner. "Found it," Marcus finally announced, emerging from beneath the hood. "Your timing belt's wearing out prematurely. Likely a manufacturer defect. I can fix it, but the part alone will cost about $8,000. With labor, you're looking at around $12,000. Victoria barely blinked. "Fine, whatever. Just have it ready by tomorrow evening." "Actually," Marcus hesitated, pulling out his phone to show her something. "I found a forum where several other Aventador owners reported the same issue. There's a recall being organized. If you wait 2 weeks, Lamborghini will likely fix it for free under warranty. I can provide you with a temporary repair today for $500 that'll hold until then." The shop fell silent. Even the radio seemed to hold its breath. Victoria lowered her phone, studying Marcus with newfound interest. "You're seriously telling me to not pay you $12,000? "I'm telling you the truth, ma'am. Just because I can do the work doesn't mean you need to pay for something you shouldn't have to." Something flickered across Victoria's face, an expression Marcus couldn't quite read. She walked closer, her heels echoing in the quiet shop, and looked him directly in the eyes for the first time. "What's your name?" Marcus Reynolds." "Marcus," she repeated, testing the name like an unfamiliar flavor. "Do you know who I am? A customer who needs her car fixed." Victoria laughed, but it wasn't the mocking sound from earlier. It was something softer, almost vulnerable. "I'm Victoria Chen. I run a $3 billion company. I have an MBA from Harvard. I've been called ruthless, calculating, and brilliant by Forbes magazine." She paused, her voice dropping, "And I cannot remember the last time someone chose honesty over profit when dealing with me." Marcus shrugged, uncomfortable with her intensity. "It's just the right thing to do." "The right thing," Victoria echoed, as if hearing a foreign concept. She studied him for a long moment. Then suddenly that smirk returned, but different somehow, less cruel and more curious. "Fix the Lambo properly, Marcus. Do the $12,000 job. Do it so well that it runs. Better than the day it left the factory." She leaned against the car, her arms crossed. "And if you do, I'll marry you." The words hung in the air like a grenade with the pin pulled. Marcus blinked. "Ma'am, I think you're joking, but that's not—" "I'm completely serious," Victoria interrupted. "I've been searching for a genuine person in a world full of people who only see my bank account. You just proved something I'd almost stopped believing existed. Integrity. Her eyes challenged him. So, do we have a deal? The other mechanics had stopped pretending to work, openly gawking now. Marcus felt heat crawling up his neck. This woman was either testing him or had lost her mind, and either way, he wanted no part of it. Ma'am, I appreciate the offer, but I'm going to do that temporary fix for $500 like I suggested. I'll have it ready in 2 hours. Victoria's smirk faded. You're refusing? I'm refusing to take advantage of you, yes. And I'm definitely not fixing a car for a marriage proposal that you don't mean and I don't want. He met her gaze steadily. My integrity isn't for sale, and it's not a bargaining chip either. It's just who I am. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have work to do. For the first time in perhaps a decade, Victoria Chen was speechless. Marcus completed the temporary repair in 90 minutes. As he handed back the keys, Victoria remained quiet, studying him like a puzzle she couldn't solve. She opened her mouth twice to speak, then closed it both times. Finally, she asked, Why? Why are you like this? Marcus thought of his daughter in that hospital bed. Her smile despite the pain. Her trust that Daddy would make everything okay. He thought of the bills he couldn't pay, the desperation that woke him at 3 in the morning soaked in sweat. And he thought of the man his father had been, who'd taught him that character was what you did when no one was watching. When no one could reward you, when it cost you everything. I have a daughter, Marcus said quietly. She's 8 years old and she's sick, real sick. I need $24,000 in 3 weeks for her surgery. Or, his voice cracked, or I might lose her. That $12,000 you were about to pay me, that could save her life. But it would have been stolen money, earned by taking advantage of someone's ignorance. What kind of man would that make me? What kind of father? He shook his head. I'd rather lose everything than lose myself. Because even if the worst happens, I need her last memories of me to be of a good man, an honest man. That's the only inheritance I have to give her. Victoria stood frozen, her hand still extended for the keys. When Marcus looked up, he was startled to see tears streaming down her face, cutting tracks through her perfect makeup. My father, she whispered, built Chen Industries from nothing. He was a mechanic, too, in Beijing. He came to America with $17 and a toolbox. Her voice shook. He used to say the same thing you just did. That integrity was the only inheritance that mattered. I thought I remembered his lessons. But somewhere between the boardrooms and the billions, I forgot what they actually meant. She wiped her eyes, smearing mascara. I became exactly the kind of person he taught me not to be. Victoria pulled out her phone with trembling hands and made a call. Janet, Victoria, I need you to arrange an immediate wire transfer. $24,000 to... She looked at Marcus expectantly. Ma'am, no. I can't accept... This isn't charity, Marcus. This is me buying back a piece of my soul that I lost. Her voice was firm. Your daughter's name? Sarah, but please, I didn't tell you that to... Sarah Reynolds. Medical fund. Do it now, Janet. Victoria ended the call and turned back to Marcus. The money will be in your account within the hour. And before you protest again, understand this. You just taught a bitter, cynical CEO that good people still exist. You reminded me of my father, of who I'm supposed to be. That's worth infinitely more than $24,000. Marcus felt his knees weaken. I don't know what to say. Say you'll save your daughter. Say you'll keep being exactly who you are. Victoria smiled, and this time it reached her eyes, transforming her entire face. And maybe in a few months when things are settled, let me take you to dinner. Not as a CEO and a mechanic, just as two people who believe the world can still be good. 6 months later, Marcus stood in the children's ward of Sacred Heart Hospital, watching Sarah laugh as she played with other kids. Fully recovered, fully alive. His phone buzzed with a text from Victoria. Coffee this week? I promise no marriage proposals this time, though I make no promises about a second date. He smiled, typing back. Coffee sounds perfect. Sometimes the richest people in the world are the ones who refuse to sell their souls. Sometimes the greatest wealth is found not in what we take, but in what we give. And sometimes the smallest act of integrity echoes louder than any amount of money ever could, rippling outward, touching hearts, changing lives, reminding us all of what truly matters. Marcus had fixed more than a car that day. He'd fixed something broken in Victoria, and she'd saved more than his daughter's life. She'd saved his faith that good deeds, even when they cost us everything, eventually come back to heal the world in ways we never imagined. And in a modest repair shop in a forgotten corner of the city, where oil stains marked the concrete like badges of honor, the universe had quietly proven that kindness, even when it hurts, is always the answer.